Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my top 10 designer fragrances for life. If I absolutely only could pick 10 designer fragrances forever, these are the ones that I would pick. Plus a couple of honorable mentions, and this video was requested by a subscriber, Sophia, so thank you so much. I always love hearing your guys' recommendations, so if there's any other types of videos that you'd like to see, just make sure to leave a comment below and I will do my best to get on it. So we're just gonna jump right into this. And the first one that we're gonna talk about is La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier. And La Belle is an icon. She's a moment. She is everything. This perfume is really the perfect mix of everything. You have this side of it that just brings a lot of sex appeal, but there's also something about it that is a little innocent, something a little playful, and overall very beautiful. It is a very sweet scent. You have to really like overly sweet perfumes to like La Belle, but it's very jammy. It's a very jammy pear scent with a lot of like tonka and spice and a lot of warm amber and vanilla. It makes it truly addicting. There's just something so appealing about the pear in this, and this thing is incredibly strong. This is probably one of the most complimented fragrances, designer fragrances on the market, just because of how strong it is. You go on any social media, TikTok, and you will see them hyping up La Belle just because of people coming up to them and asking what they're wearing, and it's just because of the strength and power of La Belle. You get noticed more than you would wearing something else. And of course, the scent is just absolutely beautiful. And this fragrance here, you guys, is literally catnip for men. It just does something to men. I don't know how to describe it, but this is said by a lot of men to be their absolute favorite fragrance to smell on their woman. It kind of has this like gourmand bakery vibe going on as well that I absolutely love. And it's just an absolute must, especially if you love pear and very strong sweet fragrances. And the bottle is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I actually prefer La Belle over La Belle Les Parfums. For me, I like sweet scents, don't get me wrong, but La Belle is very, very sweet. And the La Belle Les Parfums is just, it's just an amped up version of La Belle, a little bit spicier, sweeter, heavier, and it was just a little tiny bit too much for me. So, but La Belle just, it has my heart. So that would be my number one. So the next fragrance that we're going to talk about is something very mysterious and cool. This is Velvet Orchid by Tom Ford. There's just something very powerful about the Black Orchid line. The whole line from Tom Ford is truly iconic and one of the most unique designer fragrances that you can buy. There's just nothing that it smells like or anything out there that smells like Black Orchid. And Velvet Orchid in particular is my favorite because it kind of has more of an emphasis on the florals. And I love Black Orchid as well. I have a couple different flankers of Black Orchid in my collection. I really love the line, but I would pick Velvet Orchid just because Black Orchid is pretty polarizing for a lot of people. You either love it or you don't. It's one of those fragrances that it's like, it's either something that people really love or they cannot get behind. And I feel like Velvet Orchid is going to be the most easy to get along with than the other ones in the Black Orchid line because of that emphasis on the florals versus those other kind of gourmand dark truffle orchid notes in the rest of the line. It's a little bit slightly less gourmand, but it has all of those lovely, beautiful resins in the base. This fragrance here is Femme Fatale bottled, and it's always what I grab for on those special nights out, especially for the cooler months. It is just it is stunning. Velvet Orchid by Tom Ford. So this fragrance is one that has been taking the internet by storm. This is the new release from Burberry, Goddess. I mean, come on, just the name in itself. I really love this one because it's kind of like this tropical leaning vanilla, but it's not necessarily something that you're just gonna wanna wear in the summer. It has some weight here that it's gonna be kind of right on the line between like a fall, winter, and a summer, spring scent. But me personally, I live in Miami, but this has a little bit of weight to it. It's a very simple yet dynamic vanilla. It's kind of like a vanilla lavender combo. We have some cacao in here with some ginger too that I love. And it's just a really close call between this one and Libre Les Parfums. This one is a little bit more on the simple side. I feel like people that didn't really love the Libre line they're going to really enjoy Goddess by Burberry. There's something so cozy about it, but there's also something about it that makes me want to go to the beach. I love it, and it is finally available on the discounters. I found it on some websites at a really great discount that I will leave linked in the description, so you don't have to pay retail for this because it is a little pricey. And I just want to throw in an honorable mention really quick because oh my gosh, you guys, Vanilla Sky by Skylar. This is one of the best gourmand, sweet cappuccino fragrances. I'm a sucker for anything with coffee in it, and there's just something about this one. A lot of caramel, a lot of orange. It is so yummy. 100% edible or drinkable. The scent is just so beautiful. It's so realistic. This gorgeous cappuccino, caramel cappuccino. But the only issue is with this is that it does not last very long, which for me is not really the biggest problem because it is a hypoallergenic scent. I like the mission of the company a lot, and it's not the most expensive fragrance out there. Like, this is pretty reasonably priced. For that reason, I must have it. Anything with coffee, I'm immediately sold. I don't know about you, but I'm a coffee fragrance freak. Okay, so of course we have to add Musc Noir Rose by Narciso Rodriguez. If you love sensual, musky rose scents, very jammy rose scents, you're going to adore this scent. This one is it. I relate to this fragrance so much. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's very jammy and enveloping, but it has that kind of musky edge that really just like lifts everything up, makes it very wearable and very versatile. This is the ultimate day-to-day fragrance, like the ultimate hot girl day-to-day fragrance, Musc Noir Rose. You can dress it up or you can wear it very casually and you're going to smell just absolutely phenomenal. Narciso Rodriguez really killed it with this one. Really, in my opinion, it's the best from the house and it's an amazing value. This is very, very, very reasonably priced. You get a giant bottle and it is just, you're just going to want to drown yourself in it. It smells so addicting and incredibly sexy. And it's interesting because it's kind of this balance between a very grown-up scent, but there's a very youthful edge to it. You're not going to feel like it's a mature, stuffy, older scent. Like, it's very youthful, very playful, very, very sexy, and just fantastic. Musc Noir Rose. If we're going to talk about designer fragrances on my channel, I'd have to say that this is one that I probably talk about the most. This is Matcha Meditation by Maison Margiela. It is just one of those scents that feels like me. It's a really beautiful white floral mixed with this kind of like green tea, matcha, spicy mate vibe going on with this beautiful, beautiful, realistic white chocolate note. It just gets me. I love it. It is very distinguishable in this. It has that spicy mate with the jasmine and orange blossom with a slightly mossy base with some cedar, but honestly, the mossiness just kind of adds more of a green angle, pushing it like into that matcha tea. Like, it doesn't really smell mossy. It just really adds to amplify that matcha tea note, which I love it. And the name Matcha Meditation, I am sometimes a sucker for marketing, and I love the idea of a fragrance called Matcha Meditation. So it makes me very happy that the scent is as perfect as the name. And I love this one because in the Maison Margiela line, they're all eau de toilettes. They're a little bit of a lighter fragrance concentration, but this one actually does have some good lasting power. And I already went through a whole 1 ounce bottle, and I told myself, as soon as I get done with it, I'm going to get the 100 ml. And that is what I did. And I absolutely love it. It is so good, so perfect. So now I'm calling all of the cherry lovers. This is I Want Choo Forever by Jimmy Choo. And this has that beautiful, iconic, feminine I Want Choo DNA, but it has this kind of added cherry accord that just makes it so sexy. Gives it a sexy edge, but also it gives it, for me at least, it makes me think of like the holidays. There's something a little festive about it. It is a really addicting scent, and if you love cherry, you need to get your nose on this. There's a lot of tonka bean and a little bit of an earthy vetiver with some jasmine. I am also a huge sucker for cherry, especially when it's done right. I feel like sometimes cherry, it's a little boring when cherry is just done in like a boozy, lost cherry type of way, but this is not done like that. This is a very bright and agreeable cherry, very uplifting, but yet festive at the same time. I really enjoy this one, and it's also one of those designers that is very, very reasonably priced price. You can pick this up for a great affordable price compared to some other designers out there. So it's absolutely beautiful and definitely a great one for the holiday season. I want Choo forever. It's very popular, but I absolutely am addicted to it. Angel Share by Kilian. I don't know how I could possibly live without it. Yes, I know it's very popular, but it is heavenly. And it's also another one of those types of scents that people are either going to love or they're really going to hate. And the reason that they're going to hate it is not because the scent in itself is challenging. It's not at all. It's like one of the most beautiful, another super festive, Christmassy, holiday vibe type of scent, but it is very sweet. This is like one of the sweetest fragrances, and it's strong on top of that. Like, it is a nuclear fragrance. And when you spray this on clothes, it will last for days. And some people, it can be a little too much for them, a little headache inducing. But for me personally, like I said, I live in Miami. Every single fragrance is a winter fragrance. I have worn this in 100-degree heat. I do not care. It's so cozy and warm, so comforting. And it's just such a beautiful scent. I love that kind of boozy pie vibe that it has. If you live somewhere cold and you like heavy, boozy scents, this is the one. There's a reason that it's so popular and everyone is obsessed with it. Everyone tries to copy it, but the truth is that you can't copy. Like, the original is just, it's the best by far. And I love it, and I always want to have it for life. So next we have the absolute Rolls Royces of vanillas, Vanille Fatale by Tom Ford. It is seriously hard to top Vanille Fatale. It hits every single box you could possibly imagine. It's boozy, it's floral, it's spicy, it's gourmand, it's resinous, it's deep and enchanting. We have rum, myrrh, olibanum, saffron, coriander, orange, lime, coffee, plum, frangipani, rose, Madagascan vanilla, tobacco, mahogany, patchouli. Just like the longest list of notes that you could possibly imagine is in Vanille Fatale. But what is so great about this is that usually when that happens, when you have a note breakdown that is like 10 pages long, the fragrance just smells muddled. It's kind of hard to actually smell and distinguish each note, but not in Vanille Fatale. This one is blended so masterfully that you can really distinguish and pick out every single note. It is really just so deep and dynamic and gorgeous. And I feel like Tobacco Vanille gets a lot of hype, and I like that fragrance. I have it, but I prefer Vanille Fatale. And if you are one of those people that thinks that Tobacco Vanille is a little too much, you will absolutely adore Vanille Fatale. A lot of beautiful, sexy, dark sensuality with this gorgeous gourmand touch. It's heavenly. It's one of the best vanillas on earth, Vanille Fatale. So this next fragrance is one that, if you know, you know. Rouge by Givenchy. Hot girls wear Rouge. It really walks the line between designer and niche. Very mass appealing to where a lot of people are going to love it, but it's also different enough that it doesn't smell like anything else, like that you find at Sephora or Ulta. Unique and dynamic enough that it could smell niche. It is such a great value on discounters as well. It has some sort of like cola, almost like a grape soda type of vibe. I think that comes from the tuberose in this. Something about the florals makes it feel a little fizzy, a little bubbly. Has ginger and blood orange, tuberose, jasmine, pimento leaves, sandalwood, patchouli, and vetiver. It is very, very, very sexy and very different. It's really a masterpiece, and it is one of my favorites as well. I definitely could not live without Rouge by Givenchy. Really amazing stuff. You just have to get your nose on it. And that's the great thing about designers as well, is that it's very easy to go out and test all of these, right? You just go to Sephora, Nordstrom, Ulta, places like that. You don't have to do any risky blind buying. But please, for most of these, I will leave links in the description below that you can get them for a discounted price. You don't need to pay retail, which brings me to a very affordable masterpiece. Versace Crystal Noir Eau de Toilette. This one has stood the test of time since its launch in 2004. Still very relevant, very wearable today. This scent profile is gorgeous. This is another hot girl perfume. Really just takes you to another level. This is for a very bougie hot girl. The type of girl that knows that she's hot. Just oozes confidence and sensuality. Like, you can't even knock her for it. We have cardamom, ginger, and pepper with orange blossom, sandalwood, sandalwood, musk, and amber. This one is also a major compliment getter, and you can get it for around like $40 to $50 on the discounters. It is fantastic and just timeless, and the definition of a sexy perfume. It is just beautiful. Versace Crystal Noir. So I have to do a last honorable mention because this is a fragrance that I could not live without it. Attrape-Reves by Louis Vuitton. And the reason I think that I'm so drawn to this one is that it smells a little bit similar to my all-time #1 favorite fragrance on earth, Via Cavour 1 by Xerjoff, but this is definitely like a much more sweet, feminine take on that scent DNA. This one has lychee and ginger, bergamot, peony, Turkish rose, cacao, and patchouli. It is just so good though. It's very expensive, very expensive. Generally, in my opinion, I don't think that most of the Louis Vuitton fragrances are worth the money. They're generally not very long lasting, not the strongest, but this one at least is strong and it lasts a decently long time. Like, it's not totally beastly, but it does last good enough, like for me at least, and I love the scent, so I will always want to have it. And if you just want to treat yourself, you want a little luxury shopping experience, this is a good one to grab. So guys, that is my top 10 plus some honorable mentions. Designer fragrances for life. I just could not imagine my life without these fragrances. I love them all so much and they're all amazing. Like I said, everything will be linked below with some discount codes. You do not need to pay retail for any of these. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below if there's any other type of topics that you would like me to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.